look out in the woods, out in the field, and you'll see some deer and stuff out in there, or coyotes or something, if you look for them.
Jack and Roberta Spangler are, like most parents, coming back to their home after a Saturday trip to the store with the boys.
Okay, everybody, let's grab a sack.
Come on, guys. We try to make it as normal as possibly as a regular parent. We just try to be parents that the boys, you know, haven't had for a long time, and just run a house as we would our own.
Thank you, Jack.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you,
You're welcome, guys.
They've had plenty of experience at it. They've already raised a family of their own.
Thank you, sir.
Lifesavers.
Now, at the Oklahoma Lions Boys Ranch, Jack and Roberta are filling in for parents who failed their children.
A lot of times I've never had parents that care what they do. So we just try to show them that we care about them and that we just want them to do what's right, not because what we tell them, but just because it's the right thing to do.
So you have to compare what are the two things that are similar to those.
They're both studying something.
Mm-hmm. And I try to teach the boys, you know, it's your responsibility to get up in the morning, to get ready for school on your own.
Take your belt off. That's something you guys haven't got down yet. We try to just help them in their everyday life, whatever they need.
Gotta fold them all nice and neat. You know, always gotta look good for the ladies.
We just try to teach them responsibility and just to be good people.
This is not a free ride for these guys. And for many young men that have come in here, that's what they've gotten since they've come into DHS custody. And not much has been expected out of them.
What happened?
I got in trouble.
Mm-hmm. Whose fault was it?
It was mine.
I think we give them a lot of things they've never had before. We give them stability, we give them structure, we give them lots of love.
I was disrespectful when I cussed in front of them.
Most of the boys just haven't had that before.
I love you.
I love you too, honey.
The young men that come to us from DHS have come from abusive homes, all kinds of abuse, any abuse that you could think of. We've got young men that were taped up with duct tape and put in a closet, burned with cigarettes, like you always hear, sexual abuse that you can't even imagine what these young men have gone through.
And because of that background, life here can be difficult at first for everyone. The boys all come from severely dysfunctional families. The adjustments are stark. The young men assume the worst because that's what they're used to.
And what happens is those youth bounce from system to system and from foster home to foster home because of their history of abuse, because of their history of poverty, just the basic expectation that they're going to be bad kids. And our #1 goal is to get those kids that have jumped from foster home to foster home and shelter to shelter and give them a stable, safe home environment where they can lay down some roots, where they can begin to learn what it means to be a part of a family and to be held accountable as a young person.
Because a lot of times our boys come and they don't know how to actually care about someone or to show them that they care because they've been moved around so much during their life that they've never had anybody that they've ever cared about. So what's your grade in English now?
78.
78? It's a lot better, isn't it?
They've been bounced around from place to place, always seeking but never finding a home.
I've seen kids that have come in here from a life of survival, where they've had to learn to look out for #1, or they were going to die. And those kids come in and they'll look you straight in your face and say, I don't care about you. I don't need you, and I don't want you. I just don't have anywhere else to be.
It's our state project. It's something that we as Lions have felt that is so important that it's necessary for us to keep the home not only operating but at full capacity so that we can make a difference in more young men's lives.
The Oklahoma Lions Boys Ranch covers 725 acres on the outskirts of Perkins. The administrative offices are based in the Homestead. There are 2 ranch homes which house 6 boys each. The newest is the Anthony-Meinders home, known as the Meadows, and the Mabee Lodge rounds out the housing, which the boys like to call the Cedars.
This is a job that's significant. This is a job that changes lives. Not only changes the people that I work with, but has the opportunity to change their child, their children, and their families. We change generations.
Big or not.
Ironically, this nurturing atmosphere was born out of tragedy.
It's tangled up on here. See?
Well, the Boys Ranch was started in 1952 by H.F. Donnelly. He was the founder. And the land was donated from the Maine and the Donnelly families. And the reason the ranch was started came from an incident that happened in a town not too far from here, Cushing, where a police officer was shot by a young boy. And the community got together and said, we need to do something for these young men.
It started with a Boy Scout troop, but Mr. Donnelly quickly saw that what was being done by good troop leaders was being undone by bad parents.
Well, H.F. Donnelly had a vision that was really a revolutionary vision at the time. In 1952, there weren't very many homes for adolescent youth, for youth that had gotten in trouble. Basically, at that time, the choices were to either live out on the street or, if they got in trouble, to go to jail. There were orphanages, but there weren't family-style residential homes. That trend didn't catch on until much later, and so the Boys Ranch has been ahead of its time for quite some time.
And Mr. Donnelly knew having a good family atmosphere was what was needed, and that continues today.
The original name of the Oklahoma Lions Boys Ranch was IOA Youth Ranch, and that stood for Individual Opportunity for Achievement. And the founding belief of the Oklahoma Lions Boys Ranch was then and is now that each individual deserves an opportunity to achieve. And that's what we do here.
No luck today, fish aren't biting.
For young men like Jacob, achievement is a word that he hasn't heard much before now.
The restaurant is like, you get in there, you like check in, and you just start washing all the dishes.
But now he has a good job and a place to call home.
I can listen to people more better, like actually do what they tell me without having an attitude, you know? Because when I first came here, I had an attitude about people telling me, bossing me around, having a boss over me, someone telling me to do something. Yeah, I actually got to save money and put it in the bank for them, buy me a car, and they helped me do that and stuff. And I get like some money out of it to go spend on something for myself.
For the first time in his life, Jacob has a foundation on which to build his life. Over the years, the Oklahoma Lions Boys Ranch has certainly saved young lives in the short term, but the long-term goal is to change lives.
Many of our young men come in here, become successful for the first time in their life. They've made good grades in school. For the first time in their life, they're a part of something.
Now you need to sit up there and put your foot on the pedal.
Dang, I can barely reach.
There needs to be 1,000 homes like this around the nation for all these guys. It's just, you know, if you could spend the time here and see how boys change from the minute they walk in to when they leave, and how they develop and how they grow, you would see what we see. And yeah, it's wonderful what they get here.
The success for me would be just being able to have a family. I mean, be able to support them. Do I have to be a politician? No. I mean, do I have to be someone famous? No. Just being able to support my family and having an awesome family.
the thing I remember about him the most was always asking me, I just want a family. I don't care what kind of family, I don't care how they treat me, I just want a family. And I would always tell Joshua that one of these days you'll get married and that family will be yours. And that's what I want for you, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's what the Lions are all about. We want to make a difference in someone's life. We want to be able not only to serve, but to make a difference in someone's lives.
At the Oklahoma Lions Boys Ranch, young men who lived a nightmare can finally dare to dream. This video made possible from a grant from MidFirst Bank.